Alrighty, welcome back, fellas, to another trade recap. Haven't made one of these in a little while, so we're just gonna kind of run through the motions. We're gonna start here on Forex Factory, actually. So you can see that we had basically no news for today. I mean, we did have news, but I mean, it came out at 1 a.m., so it really didn't affect the trade that we took today. Um, that in mind, we could now hop back onto the charts, right? And so I've been kind of doing my daily bias a little bit different recently. Instead of like how I was doing in the past, like I see that we're bullish on the daily, the bullish on the weekly, bullish on the 4 hour, blah 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 blah. I've been doing it kind of a little bit differently, right? So I've been coming on to the chart, right, and we could bring our drawings back, right? And I've been just kind of trying to find where the premium price point and where the discounted price is, right? So I came onto the 4 hour, right, when I first hopped on, and I drew out basically our premium and discount, right? So from this leg here all the way up to this high here, right? So that was where our 4 hour premium would be, was right here, right? And before market opened, we could kind of scale back down into the 1 hour, right? So you can see this was during London session, right? You can see that we get this big leg down, right? And then we respected these fair value gaps, right? And we pushed into this equilibrium price point. So to me, by us respecting this fair value gap and even this fair value gap and sweeping out this liquidity, this was super 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 bullish for me. And we could see that this is a 4 hour fair value gap, by the way. So for me, this was extremely, extremely bullish for me. So going into the market, I wanted to see some type of longs, right? You will see that I do have this fair value gap. It is a 15-minute fair value gap marked out, and then I also have um, our bearish range equilibrium. So basically, what I drew out was just from these highs all the way down to here, right? And this is where I found my equilibrium at, right? I mean, I placed it just a hair above, but what really doesn't matter, right? It's the same fucking shit. Um, but that's how I found our range equilibrium. And you could say, well, why didn't you place it down here? Because this is where the low was, right? On the hourly time frame, this was where the low was. So that's where I placed my range equilibrium off of. It's not this low, even though this is lower than right here, right? That doesn't matter because this isn't the hourly low, right? This is the hourly low, right? So that was just kind of my thought process. And going into this, I really I saw that price came down here and filled in respect to these fair value gaps, but I really wasn't too confident. I mean, I was confident in going long, but we'll see once we get into the lower time frames. We were just kind of chopping it up, right? So I was like either waiting for something to push back down into this equilibrium here and then continue higher, or if market wanted to come up, push into this equilibrium, this range equilibrium, and then fill in this value gap, I was interested in looking for shorts there, right? So that's why I had this marked out. So now that we kind of got that a little bit explained, we could get rid of that, right? We can see that we respected the fair value gap and then continued back down to the downside. But the reason I didn't take a trade actually on price pushing back down into equilibrium here was because that at 7:30, right, when market opened, well, it was technically like 7:35. I saw that on the 5-minute time frame, we broke structure to the upside after tapping into equilibrium here and already having like a bullish bias since we respected these fair value gaps. So I was like, you know what, this is where market could reverse here, right? So, but this wasn't enough for me, right? And then also on the 15-minute time frame, you can see we also broke structure, just very slightly, but we still broke structure, right? So for me, this wasn't enough confluence for me to enter a trade. So I was like, okay, I want to see some, now that I got my high time frame bias, I want to see some low time frame bias, right? So I scaled down on the 1 minute, right? I drew out our range equilibrium from right here to here because this is basically what a range is just basically like where market starts to reverse, right? So you wouldn't consider the range from here to here, right? Because we're still in a bearish downtrend, right? But when market started to reverse back to the upside from here to here, that's the range. And then whenever it started coming back down, that's how you can basically tell where the range has ended, right? So I drew out the range equilibrium there. I saw that on the 1 minute time frame, we had a 1 minute fair value gap here. So basically all I was waiting for was, after I saw the break of structure, was a retrace back into this area and a respect to this fair value gap, right? So came back down, we tapped back into this range equilibrium, and then we also respected this 1 minute fair value gap, right? From here, I'm ready to go. I hit my confluences. My confluences are, by respecting this, they're giving me some pretty bullish signals here, right? So all I'm now waiting for is a confirmation to go long, right? So we can see right here, get a break of structure. But I didn't enter off of this candle because, I mean, even though you could kind of scale in and see if we even broke structure. To me, this wasn't enough, right? I wanted to see just a little bit more of a push up. So that's why I waited on this candle, right? Waited for the fill, or the candle closure of this candle, right? So after that, after this candle closed, I entered. Spread put me just a little bit higher than I would have liked, but that's okay. And then I put my stop loss. Oh, yes. And before we go any further, this blue line that I just deleted and that I had marked out, this was a 1 minute order block, right? So, that's technically also a third confluence that we could have used. I don't really use order blocks, but it technically was. I mean, so I just had it marked out, right? I don't really use order blocks all that much, but if you like to use order blocks, that's cool. Right. So once we got the break, right, got the spread, spread filled just a little bit higher, and then I put my stop loss below the fair value gap because, if we would have went and closed below this fair value gap, then my trade idea would have been invalidated, right? So you can see we come push up, break structure, then we come back down, then we break structure back again to the downside, right? But what do we know about price? Price needs to balance out price action, and it can't just go up forever, right? Anyways, so basically, we came back down, back into the super discounted price range, right? Wanted to tap back into this fair value gap here, and then after that, it was just basically cash money. Take profits at this low time frame draw on liquidity. I also had another take profit at this draw on liquidity, and then I had my third and final take profit at this 1 hour bearish range equilibrium. I could have had my stop loss or my final take profit, and if I didn't want to have it at this range equilibrium, I could have had it at the bottom of this 15-minute fair value gap. Hold on. I could have put my take profit here, but if there's anything that I know about trading, at least for me, is that I can't get too greedy. So I just put my final take profit at this range equilibrium, right? So we can see we were in a drawdown for a little bit from when we opened this trade to when we completed the trade. We were in the trade we were in drawdown at least for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, almost 15 minutes we were in drawdown. But you know what? That's why you gotta have good psychology and have proper risk management. Because honestly, bro, if I had the psychology and the mindset that I did a month ago, I would have I would have closed out this trade, right? I would have said my trade idea is invalidated, and I would have closed out the trade. And then when I saw that my market reversed, I would have been really upset, and I would have been really sad with myself, right? Because I let myself down. But I've been really working on my psychology recently, and just knowing that price has to balance out, and price just can't go up forever, or in the same aspect, it can't go down forever. That's really been helping me, and so but and also just by having my stop loss just a little bit below from where my trade idea would be invalidated. That's really been helping me. Instead of like having my stop loss below these lows, right? I would have had like a really fucking. I wouldn't have a 3.7 to RR, right? I would have had probably like a 1-to-1. This would first take profit would probably be a negative RR, right? So that's something that's been really helping me is just like, just staying disciplined and knowing and being confident in myself, right? And knowing my abilities to be able to trade because I've proved to myself that, I can predict price action. Sometimes I'm not a professional yet, I'm not profitable, but I do have the ability to predict price action, right? So that has really boosted and bolstered my confidence a lot. To be able to, be able to sit in drawdown for a little bit, right? Even if I'm, you know, still on demo, you know, and not even being able to sit in drawdown, just like not like once I take the trade, I close my trading view until I either hit my take profit or my stop loss is hit, right? The only time I really check my, oh, did I just say trading view? The only time I check my MetaTrader, because that's what I have my demo account on, the only time I check it is to set my stop loss, right? Initially set my stop loss, and I'll open it again once price draws near my take profit. After that, I don't check it. I close the app and it's just me and the charts. It's me and the charts and that's it, right? So that's been really helping me cuz like, when you see the numbers go down and you see the numbers go up, that allows for emotions to slip in. At least for me, right? And I'm trying to detach myself from money because at the end of the day, if you want to be a successful trader, you can't have the mindset of, oh, I need to make $1 million from trading. Oh, I need to make $10,000 this month from trading, right? You have to think in terms of like what is your win percentage, right? And you also have to think in terms of what is the RR, right? So that way you can look back when you're doing your journaling and you're doing your trade recaps, right? You can notice that like, hey, I have a pretty decent win rate, right? Maybe I have a pretty low RR compared to some people, right? But my win rate is pretty good, right? So you have to take that into account, right? And you're going to lose trades. You're going to lose sometimes. It's going to suck. But you have to remind yourself that, I have a good win rate. And you can't, once you lose a trade, you can't be going and switching everything up because that's what I was doing. And I really was not successful with it because I lost a trade and I was like, oh shit, something's not working for me. So then I would go on and then I would try to find the next thing that would make me, understand the market further, even though I already had the tools and I already had the strategy to make me profitable, right? And I'm not profitable yet, but I still have the same strategy that I did a year ago, right? I have the same confluences. I didn't change anything, but in my mind, I had to change something because if it wasn't working, then I needed to fix it, right? But the thing that I really needed to fix was my psychology. It's not the confluence's fault for me losing trades, right? It's my own damn fault for letting my emotions slip into the market, for letting, you know, for letting me, like, like, I'll be in drawdown for like a couple minutes, and I'm like, oh shit, my trade idea is invalidated, so that means I'm gonna lose this trade, right? When in actuality, we could have done like we did today, came back down, almost invalidated our trade idea, right? Just wanted to come back down, sweep out this liquidity here, right? This 1 minute liquidity, and then continue higher, right? So that's really been the biggest thing for me. That's been a game changer, was just not letting your emotions get into this shit, right? And having confidence in yourself, and like being able to tell yourself, like, I can accurately predict price action. You can't come in here with the mindset of like, well, I hope I win a trade today, right? Because that's super inconfident, right? You're praying that you press a button at the correct time and you win the trade. But in actuality, that's not what it is. I mean, to a certain extent, that's what it is, because you're just pressing a button, you know, hoping that price goes in the direction that you want it to go to. But it's a lot deeper than that, right? Because you could be in drawdown and still win a trade, like how I did today, right? So that's just kind of what I wanted to talk about a little bit for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, because I've been sure as hell really been enjoying my trading journey so far. Like, I know I really haven't uploaded a lot of trade recaps or anything, but I've been really enjoying this journey that I've been on. Just taking it every day, day by day, just trying to become a better person. Not even just with the charts, right? Because I can't change my psychology just for the charts. I have to change my psychology for life too, right? If I want to be a better trader, I need to be a better person. I need to, not let my emotions come into situations where I'm stressful, right? And I still do, and I'm not perfect, but I'm working on being the being a better person, being a better version of myself, right? And that's the beautiful thing about trading, and that's why I love it so much. Because you can't come into this market and, you know, like, just think that you're going to change yourself just for the charts. You have to change your whole personality. You have to change your whole character. Go through this whole character development, right? And that's why I love it so fucking much, because it's not just, I'm going to learn the skill and make a fuck ton of money, but like, if you are like skilled at it, you have a direct correlation to making a lot of money. But before you do that, you need to become a whole different person, right? You can't just be the average Joe Schmo who hops on the charts for 20 fucking minutes and, expect to win trades, right? You have to put in the work. You have to realize the mistakes you're making. You have to really do a lot of self-analysis in that aspect, right? That's that's the thing I love about it, because I've learned so much about myself. And this past month, I quit one of my bad habits, right? And it's been the best thing that I've ever done in my entire life. It's completely shifted not only my trading, but just my life too. It's been the best thing that's ever happened to me, and I would have never done it if I didn't have people pushing me to be the best person, to be the best version of myself that I could be. People that believed in me, people that told me that I could do it, and I would have never been able to do it if I didn't have these people holding me accountable. And it's not even just them holding me accountable, it's me holding me accountable. Because at the end of the day, if I slip up on my bad habit, I didn't cheat them, right? They're not going to be affected by it. I'm the only one that's going to be affected by it. So I just kind of wanted to hop on here and talk about that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.